Hey students, today is Wednesday, January 27th. We're focusing on writing equations from a graph, and we're going to put in some intense work today to see if we get this done. So make sure you have your Desmos opened from today, get it from your teacher's link, and then follow along, try it out. This is all about how are you going to purposefully work on this math so that you can grow. All right, let's do this. So we're starting out right away with this question about masks. All right, so pause this, do what you can to try to write these two equations, all right, an amount equation and a money equation. And then come back, I'm going to walk through guess, check, generalize on how you might go about doing this. But pause it, try it out. All right, so maybe you're able to just look at this and come up with an equation right off the bat. If you're there, great. If not, this is how I read through this equation. All right, I made masks for 14 of my friends. I made some masks that had a Baby Yoda on them and some masks that had a snowflake. So two different types of masks, one with Baby Yoda, right, and one with the snowflake. So I'm thinking, okay, we have two different types of masks, Baby Yoda, snowflake. And if I keep reading, I find that the Baby Yoda mask cost me $3.50 and the snowflake mask cost me $2.25. So that's the money side of this, right? This one has some money in there. So $3.50 and $2.25 for the snowflake and the Baby Yoda. So that's some good information as I read through here what I'm looking for. All right, and then the prompt is given to you to just see this, right? We're going to let Y be the number of Baby Yoda masks, S be the number of snowflake masks, and we know we spent $39 in total and made 14 masks. These numbers right here, right, the 39 and the 14, feel like important totals. And so think about this, 14 masks, $39 total. And maybe that can help you think about what these equations will end up equaling. Right? If you're still like, I read it, it still doesn't make sense to me, then let's guess. All right, I have Yoda and I have snowflakes. I'm going to just guess how many I made of each. Let's say I made 10 Yoda masks. All right, if I made 10 Yoda masks, how do I figure out how many snowflake masks I made? If Yoda's 10, snowflakes are what? How can I figure this out? Okay, I made masks for 14 of my friends. 14 masks. So I know these two together have to equal 14. So if I had 10 Yoda, I would have 4 snowflake. If I had 5 Yoda, I would have 14 minus 5. That's 9. Okay, if I had 1 Yoda, I would have 13. Okay, this is helping me kind of think of these ordered pairs, right? My Yoda and my snowflake masks. And what I'm seeing is if I have 10, I need 4, 5, I need 9, 1, I need 13, because together it's going to always equal 14. Well, how about the money then, right? Are any of these guesses correct? And how would I figure that out? Well, if I have 10 Yoda masks, I know that each of those Yoda masks costs $3.50. So $3.50 times 10 Yoda masks, that's $35. Right? And then the snowflake masks, if I had 4 of them, right, that's times $2.25. And I'm writing them like this because I like to put the money first, and you'll see. So 4 times $2.25, 4 quarters is $1. 4 times 2 is 8, so that's a total of $9. And the total there, 35 and 9, that equals 44. Okay, that's 44. But I don't want it to equal 44. I want it to equal 39. So that doesn't work, right? That amount doesn't work. Because I want it to equal, I want this to be 39, but it's not. So then let's guess another one. 5 and 9, well, 350 times 5 plus 225 times 9. Does that equal 39? Well, It might, but I'm not. The next one would be 350 times 1 plus 225 times 13. Does that equal 35 or 39? Huh. All right, stop right there. Because this is what the guess check does. Guess and check, guess and check. But the most important part of this is the generalization, right? How do I generalize what I'm doing in this whole situation? And so, see these guesses, 10 and 4? That came into these equations, 10 and 4. 5 and 9 came into these equations, 5 and 9. And 1 and 13, right here in 1 and 13. So what was changing, right, was my guesses through here. So if we let y be Yoda and s be snowflakes, let's write that in here. Y is Yoda, s is snowflakes. What equation could I write to figure out how they get to 14? Well, I know I was doing 10 plus 4 is 14, 5 plus 9, is that 14? 1 plus 13, is that 14? So it's really Yoda masks plus snowflake masks need to equal 14. And we call this the amount equation, right? Sometimes we have an amount equation and a money equation, but you saw in the delta math, it kind of went all over the place. So these two together equal 14. Then, if I was to try to find out the cost, right, let's put Yoda in for these guesses and snowflakes in for these guesses, and we end up with 350 times the number of Yoda masks plus 225 times the number of snowflake masks. That needs to equal $39. These are the two equations that we would use in this system of equations. All right? Take a moment, walk back through that, rewind this if you want to look. But the idea of guessing and then checking is to see how these equations will be set up as we walk through this problem. So go ahead and go to the Desmos, type that in, and see if you get those green checks, you have it correct. Then we have two more questions for you to warm up, and they're multiple choice here. So go ahead and work your way through these multiple choice and give them a shot. So I'm going to let you pause this, try slides 2 and 3. So hopefully you got a chance to read through this, you tried it out. This is one of these equations where we have the same thing happening twice, right? There's two different groups going to the ice skating arena. They're renting skates and they're paying admission. And so if the same situation happens twice, we can use that information to really figure out the cost. So if you look at the question right here, or what we're trying to find out is, how can we find out how much the skate fees and the ice skates are, right? The admission fees and the ice skates. And so if I was guessing for this, I would just start putting dollar amounts down. I'd say, well, maybe the admissions, and I'm in the wrong one, maybe the admissions cost $5 per person, and the skates cost $2 per person. Well, how would I find out how much John paid? Well, if he has 6 nephews, right, he paid $6 times 5, and then he paid $2 for the 5 pairs, right, 6 times 5, that's my guess, and then the admissions was 5 pairs of skates, so he paid for 5 skates times $2. All right. So these together, we want them to equal $32. Right? That's a terrible 3. So 6 times 5 is 30 plus 10. That is not 32, right? But hopefully you're seeing what those variables, where they should go, right? Juanita, if we're trying to find out how much she paid and we said 5 and 2, we would say, well, she has 7 grandchildren, right? 7 people she did for admitting. So it would be 7 times 5 plus she rented 5 pairs of skates as well. So 5 times 2. And hers, we're wondering, did it equal 35, 25? So just by writing these, look at the equations, right, in the multiple choice. And if you see that instead of this $5, if we just put an A for admissions, and instead of this $2, we put an R for renting skates, we'd have the equation 7A plus 5R equals 3525. And this one would be 6A plus 5R equals 32. So find those in that group there, and hopefully this idea of just guessing and writing it out can help your brain start to develop what equations would come out of that. All right? Maybe this type of question, it would actually help you to go get 50 coins, right? If you had 50 quarters and dimes, how much money would you have, right? You don't have 50 of, you could have 50 quarters and no dimes. You could have 50 dimes and no quarters, right? We have all these different combinations of quarters and dimes. We could make a little chart of these too if we wanted. We could have 50 quarters and 0 dimes. We could have 10 quarters. That would be 40. We could have 20 quarters. That means 30 dimes. We could have 6 quarters. That'd be, oh, how do I find that? Oh, 50 minus 6 is 44. If I had Q number of quarters, how many dimes would I need to get to 50? Well, that's exactly what we have here, right? The number of quarters plus the number of dimes needs to equal 50. Now, with that idea, let's say we had 10 quarters and 40 dimes. How much money would that be? Well, 10 quarters would be 10 times 25. And if I had, well, if I had 10 quarters, if I had 40 dimes, then what would I multiply that by? That would be 40 times 0.10. I'm just going to put these in brackets so you can see I'm multiplying times quarters, multiplying times dimes, and we'd add those together, right? This would be $2.50. This would be $4. And I want that to equal what? $9.80. But we don't know how many they are, right? So let's use our Q and D. So it'd be 25 cents times every quarter we have, plus 10 cents times every dime we have. Okay? And so that would start to equal $9.80. Again, there's a pattern here as you start to see them, but I want you to really imagine, right? That pile of quarters and that pile of dimes, and then how would you find out how much money that is? What you're doing physically, right? What you're figuring out, oh, that number of quarters times 25 cents and that number of dimes times 10 cents. I need that to get to the $9.80. So if you can imagine some of these situations in real life, you can start to really think about how they would look in algebra. All right. Let's see. I'm going to just pause. Now, it's your task to start to walk through the rest of these slides. All right, slide 42 is trying to get you to write 2 equations, right, for the xylophone and the number of yodelers. So think of X and Y for xylophones and yodelers and walk through this problem. Slide 13 is here to help you write in these equations and then solve it and find out how many yodelers and remodelers are there. We're going to graph it together, all right? And then we're going to finish up with slide 46, solving with substitution, a separate problem just to show where you are. And we can graph that with a chart and give ourselves some ideas of this. All right, so work through these. Then when you finish working through all of these, come and check out video number 2. That'll walk through this answer. Okay.